Geek Tank Radio, News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. This episode of Geek Tank Radio is brought to you by Hammer Time Headache Therapy. Doctors and professional wrestlers agree you can't feel pain if you're unconscious. Put the hammer down on your mental discomfort with Hammer Time Headache Therapy. You know, they haven't really explained how they operate over there. I want to know a little bit more.
All right, so they've got this giant rubber mallet.
The details are sketchy.
They have you sit in a chair,
Yeah.
and then they jump off of a rope and hit you with the mallet.
Yeah, we need a
All right,
portable solution.
One
I
of
don't
their
know.
therapists is sitting right there.
Right here.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll dive deeper into that, but
Question
I can
a
help
business
all of
while
you
the
out.
employee is here.
anyway.
I've seen the tools of her trade.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
What is
welcome to Geek Tank Radio. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead, Allan Gilbert, and our old pal. Do we introduce her now? I guess we ought to.
Yes, she's already spoken.
They
Introduce
already
her.
know I'm here.
Jessie McAlexander, who we refer to as Jessie Mac, an old pal of ours from
We call
way
her-
back in the
She's
day.
called Jessie Mac because you always stumble over her last name anyway.
No, Jessie Mac
Well,
sounds cooler. That's your rap name, right,
That's
Jessie?
my rap name, yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, hey, for those new to our show, Jessie goes back to the near the beginnings of our show. She's the geek
Pretty
mom.
close.
She was part of Geek Tank 2.0.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, she was one of the founding members of Geek Tank 2.0.
Jessie is a geek super mom. If you're somebody out there and you want to inspire your children to follow in your footsteps in your love of superheroes, science fiction, and fantasy, Jessie's the patron saint. Your kids are all nerds. I mean,
They are. I'm raising them right. You know.
So I do have to ask though, how your husband feels, because I know he likes the stuff, but he's not into it like you guys are, and now he's outnumbered. So
He
you've got the
is.
rock star and the geeks.
Yes. So he's more into the music stuff, which I follow a little bit, but I'm slowly bringing him to the dark side. He's getting into it for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Well, when you
Just remind him that the dark side has both bacon and cookies.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
well, when you go to Jessie's Facebook page, especially when you get close to Halloween or close to a convention, because you all are big cosplayers, you do these themed cosplays.
Yes, I do.
And I'm going to be intrigued to see what happens this Halloween and this Memphis
They're
Comic
all-
and Fantasy
They're
Convention.
all going to be variants of Loki.
Yeah, well, that's
I mean, probably.
that's the question, you guys, because today I guess we're finally going to finally talk about Loki. Brandon,
I told you I wouldn't allow you to talk about Loki until we could get someone who was actually in the target demographic. And now that we have
Here
Jessie
I
on the air,
am.
so women are into slow storytelling and
women are into Tom Hiddleston.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Well, I like Tom Hiddleston too. And then we'll keep it in the Marvel family. And both, by the way, folks, both of these discussions will be spoiler filled. So if you haven't seen Loki or Black Widow, you better check out the podcast later after you watch them because they're going to be.
Well, I mean, we've got
Okay.
someone who's going to be on the air with us who hasn't seen Black Widow, and she said, "Go ahead, spoil it."
Oh,
ahead.
really,
Go ahead.
Jesse? Shame
I'll
on
still
you.
watch it.
It's a tough chick movie. I mean, she's out there.
And I'm sure
her
I'll still
sister
love it,
her
but-
sister steals the show though. I mean, we'll talk about
Well, her
that.
sister's supposed to steal the show.
Yeah,
But
but Brandon, can I ask you something real quick? I didn't prepare you for this, but I think you're the only one that's actually watched Masters of the Universe.
Yes, I
Is that
have. I've watched
Netflix?
it. Yes, it's Netflix, and I have watched it twice. I've watched I'm just going to enjoy this for the nostalgia moment, and then my Geek Tank nitpicky watch was yesterday. And
Did
then
you
I
take
started
notes?
it again to make my wife watch it this morning, and I was like, I need you to move your car so I can get to the show, and she's like, it's your fault. You told me to watch this. I can't stop.
Well, since I didn't prepare anybody for this, how about not spoiler filled, but just quick? I guess
I'm
the
gonna
animation looks good, right?
The animation's great.
And-
there's a lot of heart in this storytelling. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are very angry because of the way the first episode goes. And I don't care. It's not called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's called Masters of the Universe Revelations. And I'm going to spoil this right off the bat. They killed He-Man in the first episode.
Wait, I mean, spoilers.
I just said I'm spoiling it. And
you gave us like 2 seconds.
look, the only people who actually care about Masters of the Universe have already watched the show before we've aired.
Okay.
It's
thanks.
It's 5 episodes. It's just over 2 hours of content. If you couldn't take the time on Friday or this morning, you weren't going to watch it anyway.
Now, I
Too
don't.
much content.
And we've been waiting for him to bite it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, that fur-lined Speedo doesn't really block bullets or spears or anything.
Yeah.
But Brandon,
Yeah.
surely he's not dead, right?
No, he is dead.
Nobody's dead really in these things.
Is he Loki dead?
Yeah, is he just mostly dead, or
Which Loki?
No,
You
he
get to
is-
kill a lot of them. Yeah.
so? Is this
He
what?
has got his great reward.
Yay.
So wait, is this a bait and switch? I mean, they put He-Man all over the place. I know that's called Masters of the Universe, but
well, you've got to remember he's kind of like this. He's like Luke Skywalker was in Last Jedi. He's an inspirational moment. But they did
Yeah.
it right here instead of just
Oh.
making him a cynical jerk.
Oh.
They killed him.
I was about to say, okay, don't get me started on the Last
You got to kill
Jedi.
heroes off before they become the cynical jerk and kill the inspiration.
Well, I think Jesse, have you seen this? Are you going to watch this?
He-Man?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't have any.
It's not my thing.
Yeah, I grew up after I was too old for He-Man by the time it came out.
He says
I was
this
too
as-
mature.
he says
I was
this
into the
as a grown man
Aquaman.
who went and saw Captain Underpants by himself.
But stand by. I'm guessing at some point we'll all watch He-Man and we'll unpack it. But anyway, you're listening to Geek Tank Radio here on News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis. When we get back, we're going to talk to our buddy Jessie Mac all about Loki.
Geek Tank Radio, News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth and Geek Supermom Jessie Mac, an old pal of ours from the early Geek Tank Radio days. And Jessie, you, as we say, you are the role model for those who have children, and you want to instill your geek principles into their life.
I do my best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we brought you in. Brandon, for some reason, thinks my position on Loki is not worth hearing without the balance of a female voice. Who you say Loki?
No, I didn't
I
say-
think it's for everybody. I don't know why we have to divide people up, but
we had to have some look. You can only listen to three middle-aged white men talk about things so many times before you realize not everything's geared towards us.
okay.
And because I wanted to make sure that we had a balanced voice, because I wanted to make sure we weren't just being biased, because it was a 6-episode, slightly action-filled soap opera, as opposed
Yes.
to what we have gotten with the action-packed sitcoms of WandaVision or the espionage stories of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a different type of Marvel thing, and I wanted to make sure we weren't just being,
Well,
where's
plus,
our action?
Plus,
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and say, for all the men who got so excited because their wives are finally watching an MCU show with them, it's not because they like the MCU.
No, why was this, Jesse? We already know.
Oh, well, Tom Hiddleston, of course.
Okay, but here's the thing. Everybody likes Tom Hiddleston.
Exactly.
He's the best villain.
Everybody.
I mean,
But
well,
for different
Killmonger's good too, but-
reasons, Joe.
Okay.
For drastically different reasons.
Yeah, but when we first saw the news, we were all excited about Loki, and I don't want to tip my hand too soon, but I'm not disappointed with
I
the
said
story.
on our former show at the Deplorable competition, I'm not excited about Loki multiple times.
Did you?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
No one remembers?
I can say this,
He blocked
Jesse.
it out. He didn't want to hear it.
When we first heard about it, when we were just hearing the names and they said WandaVision, I'm like, who cares about that? And now it's like one of my favorite all-time Marvel things. When they said Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'm like, okay, it'll probably be just a middle-of-the-road something. And then we're like, but we can't wait for Loki. That's the one we're all in. It's funny how things change once they actually come out. But go ahead, I'm going to throw it to you, Brandon.
Okay. So
Let's talk Loki.
All right, let's talk Loki. So, of course, Loki picks up right where, Endgame, his appearance in Endgame,
Right.
leaves off. And, immediately just gets beat down by the TVA, which was hilarious. I always love when
He
cocky
was
dudes
humbled
go,
quickly.
Glorious purpose, slap.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah. Go take a number.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
like I have watched many a people in Memphis fall by the same way. It's hilarious.
yeah.
But of course, he gets processed. Mobius is taking a major interest in him. Mobius, who is an agent of the TVA, played by Owen Wilson, does a phenomenal job. I was
thought it was
kind of
great,
hoping
yes.
that when they showed later on in the series, I was like, they're going to reveal the reason Mobius loves the Lokis is he's a Loki variant. But no, he's just some dude who wants a jet ski.
He's great. Yeah.
Get the poor man a jet ski,
The
please.
man deserves a jet ski.
I got a confession,
In fact,
you guys.
I want to go ahead and say, just coming off of Masters of the Universe, give the man a sky sled in the next season of Loki.
Okay. I will say this, Jesse. Owen Wilson, I loved him as Lightning McQueen, who's one of my favorite guys. But honestly, all the movies I've seen him in, like whatever, Zoolander, all that, I never took him serious as an actor, but I think he's a really good actor now.
He is a very good actor.
Yeah.
He is. I think he gets stuck in slapstick comedies a lot.
Yeah.
So we don't really get to see another
You know why?
part of him.
They threw money at him.
Also, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He gets paid to do all of that.
But he also
very well.
he also seems like the kind of guy who actually just enjoys doing things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And I mean, between him and his brother Luke, they have both played really serious roles, but their bread and butter is the the guy you just don't take serious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how did you come into this, Jesse? Like, what were your expectations? And
So,
tell us how they were met. And,
After she wiped the drool from her chin,
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston.
Once I composed myself a little bit. So after the first episode, I came in super excited because I get Tom Hiddleston again in a whole show all by himself. Like, I'm so
With
excited.
Loki hair.
With Loki hair.
With Loki
Yes.
hair. That's important. I
very
discovered
important.
in a couple of
Plus-
conversations. Yes.
Throughout the show, he is not in the Loki uniform. He is in a suit, which is so nice.
yeah, he's just in a tie and rolled up
Yes,
sleeves.
much appreciated.
Can we also just take a moment, because you brought it up, to appreciate the tailors at the TVA for giving us a collared shirt that doesn't actually have a collar?
Yes.
I'm always futzing with my
yeah.
collar because of
Right.
the fact that it won't sit right. They're
Oh,
sewn
it
down.
was
so it's
perfect. It was perfect.
It's a great shirt.
It
Okay.
was perfect. But after the first episode, I was kind of hoping that they would go toward a buddy cop feel, where Loki and Mobius are out getting the Loki variants and all the shenanigans that Loki can cause for that mission, whatever. But they veered off very quickly. And Brandon described it perfectly. It's very soap opera-y. So it's not exactly what I expected.
Yeah. Okay.
I almost wish there was a little more mischief. I wish there was more of the Loki variants.
Yeah.
That was my favorite episode, where I got to see all the different Lokis together.
Oh, fighting among themselves and
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
Yes,
well,
I
because
loved that.
we got an alligator.
Why is there
a kid.
an alligator? He's a Loki. It's,
Are you sure he's a Loki, or is he lying? But then again, that's very Loki. So,
And the TVA, honestly, Brandon, I know you're probably the most well-versed comic person. And Jesse, I didn't know anything about the TVA. Did you know anything about
a
it?
little
'Cause-
bit. Yeah,
Okay.
I did know a little bit about it.
But it's a unique concept. I thought it gives you a big palette to work with. You've got multiverses. You can go anywhere in time. Like, I really enjoyed when they went to what was it, the 1500s or something like that, or just
just any of that. Any of the time travel is great, especially when it's well beyond stuff we've seen in the Marvel universe.
yeah, that makes it
I
interesting.
did think it was funny that the one time they came back to 1985 and it was in a Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Oh yeah, they were upset because they weren't dressed for the occasion. All the
Yes.
Rennies, like, hey, suit up, or they didn't appreciate that. So they got that part right. So, but I guess I don't want to just dive into why I didn't like. Here's the problem, Jesse. Okay, the concept was great. The premise was awesome. Here's what I didn't like. It's like, okay, we have to get off this planet or it's going to explode. We got to hurry to this train. We got to do this stuff. It's all this imminent danger, but now we're going to talk for 20 minutes about our feelings, and we're going to sit in a bar and have drinks and stuff. Like, it just,
Well,
the pacing was all over the place. I'm like,
Loki is known for being a talker.
okay.
He talks his way out of everything and into everything.
I mean,
I don't know.
That's the
though.
Loki we know.
the bar on the train was expected. I mean, you've got this train ride, but then it's like we're gonna sit on the edge of the lake and just talk our feelings out while we die. That's not a Loki thing.
No, that's not.
You know,
I didn't. Yeah, I just thought they were filling time. Basically, that's what I was trying to do.
also did not feel like the love story was necessary.
Okay. All right. Well, that's we're going to pick that up when we come back. You're listening to Geek Tank Radio here on News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis. We're going to take a quick break and continue to discuss our feelings about Loki.
Geek Tank Radio, News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmsted and Allan Gilbreth, and our super producer behind the glass, Max, who told me that my mic's been a little hot, so hopefully I'm not blowing everybody's eardrums out. And our pal Jessie McAlexander, who we refer to as Jessie Mac. That's her rap name. That's the name she goes by on stage when she's performing, right, Jessie?
That's right.
Old pal of ours,
right.
super geek mom, just a great. I don't know. She's doing her part to foster a new generation of geeks. So before break, we were talking about the Loki miniseries on Disney Plus, which
we can't call it a miniseries anymore because it's getting a season 2.
Season 2, 6 episodes, and I just put it out there that my disappointment was not in the premise. It wasn't even in the acting or the stories. It was just in the the exposition, Brandon. I felt like the pacing, they suddenly get into a big action scene, and then they stop and they talk for 15 minutes.
I honestly agree with you. I enjoyed what Loki set up.
Okay.
I enjoyed being able to see a little bit more of the different sides of Loki. I missed the mischief, like Jessie was saying earlier.
Yes, very much
but
so.
yeah, this literally, it was 6 hours, well, just under 6 hours to tell a story that could have been done in 2, which is a very...
That's like what they do in comics.
It's what they do in comics. It's like they decompress the story so they can get that 6 issues in, so they can do their little, their trade paperbacks. But since Disney's not going to put any of these on disc, why do I need it to be, all 6 episodes?
Well, and you said something else. I don't know if you or Jessie said this. You were expecting the buddy cop movie or buddy cop story. What you got instead was sort of a rom-com, they call it?
Soap opera, yeah.
Soap opera. So did that twist bother you, or because according to Brandon, you're the target demographic here?
I would have rathered the buddy cop. I was looking for something fun and lighthearted, something Loki-esque, and I don't feel like that's what I got.
See, there's only 2
Her
people
expectations
I know,
were subverted.
There are only 2 people I know who are bigger Loki fans than Jessie, and I can't afford to bring either of them to the show.
Okay.
They can't be paid with banana pudding.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, one, let's go with the common complaint of everybody for every MCU show so far is somewhere in the 1/3 to halfway through the whatever it is they're doing, everybody's complaining. And then the massive thing happens and everybody's happy until the end. Well, they had a lot of heavy lifting to do. So we had to do a lot of heavy lifting. And if they're going to hang their hammer, so to speak, on Loki, who quite frankly probably would have been a better Asgardian king or probably would have been a better champion than his somewhat very disappointing brother.
Oh, those are fighting words there. So, okay.
Yikes.
You want him, George?
You're attacking Joe's heritage.
I am. I'm gonna point out that when it was time to step up to the throne, somebody was playing PlayStation with a rock for 5 years.
Okay.
I'm just gonna point out the grotesque dereliction of duty that has been delivered to this. So I'm going to point out we're at the whiny part of every Disney series. We have finally given Loki somebody to play with.
Himself?
No.
That sounds
we
weird.
have.
It's Sylvie, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, we finally have in true Loki form. If we're going to play Loki out completely.
Okay.
Loki will play whatever character, any character, however character. Loki will play the dutiful brother to the evil overlord to achieve his ends, right?
Well, yeah.
That's Loki.
Yeah.
All bets are off. All right?
Yeah, you never know if it's truly Loki or not.
Until the very end of this episode, this last episode, Loki has not known who the opponent is.
I'm still confused about who the opponent is. That guy confused me.
Well, good. He's supposed to.
Okay.
But
He's
I'm
a very
just pointing
complex
out.
character.
No, I'm just pointing
It was
out the
not what I
MCU
expected. Yeah.
spent a lot of time doing a lot of heavy lifting to get the multiverse of madness set up, to get all the time changes and switchbacks and all
they
of
had
that.
to explain.
There's a lot of
lot.
exposition.
Yes.
All right, we got that done. And at the very end of this episode, not only do we have a cute little toy for the Christmas crowd, because let's face it, every toy alligator out there now has to have a little pair of horns. And you can tell by the giggling on the far end, Darth Mikus has achieved his goal.
Yes.
There's your Christmas toy.
Oh, you're going to have the alligator plushie with the
You're going to
Loki
have the
horns.
alligator with the little horns, right?
I expect one for Christmas. I'm just saying.
If we want her back, I know what I have to get Jessie for Christmas.
Yeah. So Jesse, is that what you think too? The set. This was basically setting the table for everything
For
to come?
the multiverse, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So what I'm
from the
curious about
get-go,
is
I got that.
why he's getting 6 more episodes. Nobody else did.
Well, we don't know that.
I understand that, and
Yeah.
that is why I have yet to. I'm going to reserve total judgment. I'm going to say I got a lot of great acting, I got a lot of great drama, I got some amazing cast, I got some really cool scenes. Now, was it as fast paced as an MCU normally is? No. But as far as, any good BBC person, any Anglophile, it was pretty nice. It was good pace. There was a fair amount of action. Nothing was really gratuitous.
I wasn't bored with
You
it
weren't
by
bored.
any
It
means. I
held
was just
your interest
expecting
a little more. And that's why I'm curious to see the next 6. Because I think what we finally have is the table is finally set.
Okay.
Now we can unleash a bag
But the
full of
table
Lokis.
is not set for season 2. The table is now set for Doctor Strange, the Multiverse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Spider-Man,
Yes.
No Way Home.
Yes.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Because that's where we're going to see the various versions of He Who Remains.
Yes.
What we saw in what we just saw in the show, that's the Immortus version of Kang. We will get Kang the Conqueror in Quantumania. We don't know which one we're going to see in Doctor Strange, but I can almost guarantee you that we are going to see Iron Lad in No Way Home, because that'll be the version of Kang that would most set up with the technology base of Spider-Man.
Right.
Yes.
So we're fixing to see. I mean, if you guys thought Thanos was a villain, you don't know Kang.
Well, it's funny you say that, Brandon, because I was thinking about after Endgame, I'm like, okay, well, now what are they going to do? I mean, how much higher could the stakes be? You just wiped out half the universe and brought it back, but now we're seeing, if you have a multiverse, that's infinite.
Marvel decided that instead of going with Thanos' true motivation, to curry favor with death because he was in love with her.
Because he's in love with death.
We decided to try and pretend he's some altruistic, I'm trying to save the universe. No, you're not.
Yeah,
You're
like
a
he
jerk.
had some type of good intentions deep down inside.
Now we're going to
No.
go with Kang the Conqueror.
He was a bunny. He was a tree hugger.
We're going to go with Kang the Conqueror, who is literally there to
Conquer.
the
Conquer.
universe,
Yes.
the multiverse.
Yes.
And
when I said he was a complex character, I am not kidding.
Kang's backstory is almost as convoluted as Hawkman's over in DC. It changes every few years.
Yeah, maybe that's why I was so confused, because I was listening to him and I'm like, what does this guy want?
Here is the biggest problem with the finale, and that was the fact that they decided to explain everything in riddles, with 2 Lokis who are fighting over whether to kill him or whether to listen to him, and them taking over and protect the timeline. When all of this could have been done with the confrontation between Mobius and Ravina, where it should have happened. Kang's not a talker.
Huh.
Kang's about action.
Okay.
And they
Very
made
much
Kang,
so.
even in his Immortus form, he's not boring.
Right.
Yeah.
And they made him boring.
Very boring. Yes.
They
Okay.
almost made him a Loki variant.
Yeah.
Which means we should have an unfettered, unleashed barrel of Loki monkeys for 6 episodes yet to come.
I just wonder
All
if
right. If they don't, then I'll be disappointed.
I just wonder if the pacing's going to change up a little, because we saw that in different seasons of Stranger Things. They changed up the feel, they changed up the whole texture of the show from season to season.
The difference here, though, is that we're in the Disneyverse now. We're not dealing with Netflix's here. We're going to throw it at a wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
So we are getting we'll have more cohesion, but I think that we will see a faster pace. Because right now, the Loki variant we've been following, he's not anything anymore.
No, and
He's
saw
not
how it
even
ends.
registering as a Loki at this point.
Yeah. And so, Jesse, if you had to rank, so far in our series, we've got Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki. If you had to give them a grade, what do we got?
Oh, all right. Loki's gonna get a B-.
Okay.
WandaVision is an A. I loved
Absolutely.
WandaVision.
That's the best one.
Winter Soldier, we'll say an A-.
Oh, okay, not bad. I think I gave it a B. I don't know, but for similar reasons that I had with Loki, it was the same kind of a lot of talking. Well, we're doing a lot of talking here on Geek Tank Radio and News Talk 98.9.
I'm gonna give
The
you
Roar
a
of
seat,
Memphis.
Joe.
That's a D for a segue. Hey, but when we come back, we're gonna talk about Black Widow, and it's gonna be filled with spoilers.
Geek Tank Radio, News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my friends Brandon Olmstead and Allan Gilbreth and our old pal Jessie McAlexander, but Jessie Mack sounds cooler. If you're just tuning in, we've been unpacking Loki. We talked a little bit about Masters of the Universe from Netflix, and we all gave our grades, which more or less we all agree more or less on the grades of all what Marvel has thrown at us so far. So
yeah, right now Loki is, as much as we love Tom Hiddleston in the role, the series is,
I mean, if I was grading Tom, then that's different.
No. This is a noon family show. We can't get into that.
All right, I'll just keep it to myself then.
Yeah.
We'll
I was
save it
about to
for the
say your
podcast.
on's hand approach would not be appreciated. So,
And if you just tuned in and you missed any of this, or if you missed any of our past shows, never fear. You can go to geektankradio.com and check out all of our past shows. And of course, we want you to go over to the Geek Tank Radio Facebook page and make sure you like us and tell us what you thought of Loki. Tell us what you thought of how Marvel's doing so far. Disney Plus, if I had to give Disney Plus a grade, as much as I hate to say it, Brandon, they're getting an A for me.
Well,
They've
yeah.
managed to take my money.
no, they're getting $13.95 a month, which is all they care about.
No. I do the yearly thing, so it's only $66 a year, so it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, mine is not that much, Alan. But anyway, hey, we don't want to run out of time before we talk about another Marvel property, which I guess crosses over because you can also get it on Disney Plus. Black Widow. We gave it enough time, people. So this. Be warned, it's going to be filled with spoilers. So,
Right.
But Jesse, you
At
haven't
the end of this
seen
movie,
it.
guess what, guys?
I am going to
Still
get
dead.
all of the spoilers right now.
Well,
And I'm okay with it.
I
You
mean,
asked for
we
it.
can deny the audience if you'd like us to.
No, I'm good.
I got
Okay.
a lot of things I could just make fun of Joe for the next however long, and
That
they'll
could
love
be
that
fun.
too.
That could be fun.
The last time we talked, Brandon, you and Alan were the only ones that saw it. Although I think Alan piecemealed it. He saw parts of it. Now all of us have seen it except Jesse, and I saw it in the theater, which was a cool experience. It was man, talk about luxury seating now.
You weren't expecting all the renovations that Malco had put in, were you?
Yeah, hats off to
Dude.
the Malco Paradiso. They renovated
I got
everything.
to
You have
see
your
that.
own lazy boy now.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to see that when we went and saw Wonder Woman on Christmas Day, and it was like, wow, they actually did something during the pandemic. They made the theater comfortable.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, you guys. So this is a prequel, and I'm okay. Brandon, you said
Can you
it
really
felt.
call it a prequel? It's like Captain Marvel. It gets shoehorned into a specific spot. Prequel
Well-
makes me think it's going farther back.
I still kind of wish.
It does.
I understand why they did this, but I still sort of wish this would have happened before Infinity War. I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
Because we know the stakes. We didn't. we know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So
we know what's coming.
So is it Natasha's origin story?
The first 10 minutes,
Barely.
maybe, it's a
Sort
little
of.
bit of it.
Oh.
But
the
then
first
I was
10
thinking it
minutes
was
are-
like her whole origin story.
I'll tell you this, Jesse. The first 10 minutes are some of the most fascinating things I've ever seen in a Marvel movie, and some gritty and just really interesting period pieces. I loved it. I could rewatch that.
The stuff where they're she's a little girl, and her and her little sister and her mom and dad they live in Ohio, and you're just
Ohio.
like, oh, this is adorable, and then it's like, wait a second, this isn't how it's supposed to work, and then you find out they're Russian operatives.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty-
they've been
That makes
pl-
sense.
they're-
Pretty interesting. And so let's just say this, though. Yelena, or
Yelena.
Yelena, played by Florence Pugh,
Florence Pugh.
steals the movie. That
Yeah.
girl is
And if you-
awesome. I want to see a lot more of that
If you
character.
want some really good, examples of her acting, you need to see the movie Fighting with My Family,
Okay.
where she portrays the wrestler Paige
Yeah.
from WWE. The Rock's in it. You get to see Paige growing up, wanting to be a wrestler. Her brother wanting to be a wrestler. And it's really just it's awesome.
I've seen clips of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jesse, have you ever watched a movie and you're thinking something, and then once in a while there's that character that says exactly what everybody's thinking? She calls out Natasha. She goes, "What is this thing you do?" And she gets down on her knees and she holds one arm above her head and she goes, "What's this? You do a lot of posing,
you do
don't
the-
you?"
it's-
What is the point of this?
It's like, what's the point of that? That's not strategic.
Yeah.
It won't help
There's-
you defend yourself.
There's a lot of little sister bust outs.
Yeah, she.
Okay.
She calls her out on her BS a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm the oldest, and,
So-
and
Okay.
my little sisters do that to me all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time.
All right. Well, in
Why
that
are you
case,
doing that?
in that case, Natasha, you know exactly how she feels in the movie.
Yeah, so it's funny. So throughout the movie,
Yeah.
every time Natasha does something where she lands after jumping off of off the roof and lands in that funky pose, you're like, okay, and you know
and then
Yolana's going to
and then
call her
Yelena
out.
calls her a poser. I mean,
Yeah.
you're such
That's
a
great.
poser.
Okay.
It's funny.
But it really is. You went into Loki looking for the buddy cop thing.
Yes.
The buddy cop's here in
It's in Black Widow. They put it in Black Widow.
But there's so much more than just that. It takes the best elements of the MCU, as far as the action, the intrigue, the humor, and everything, and they blended it almost perfectly. Joe, if they had tried to do this movie at the time that it was supposed to take place, I don't think it would have been. I don't think they could have pulled it off as well.
Why is that?
I think
I wonder why.
Because I think that at this point the MCU has evolved to such a point and all that people are able to go, all right, this is what the fans love, so we're going to give you more of this.
This
And
would have been after Civil War, right? Or was it before?
It takes place between Civil War and Infinity War.
Okay, when
it
everybody
is-
had to go into hiding.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
like right afterwards because William Hurt, when you first get back to modern times, William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross is tracking down Natasha for her attack on the King of Wakanda.
That's right.
Because she had just disabled T'Challa at the airport. When he was about to take down Stop Cap, she fired her stinger and put him out of commission.
It's amazing that that's what got him.
Well,
triggered.
remember,
I mean,
he-
there's a lot of other guys he could have chased.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
but,
Natasha was the one who was with them up to that point.
I mean, Falcon did a number on
But they
War
were
Machine.
But they were
right?
already looking for them.
Okay.
They were,
All right.
this was the point. And with Natasha was supposed to be their person.
Yeah.
She kind of like said,
Okay.
No, she said, "I'd tell you, I'd get you there. I'd let you find them. I didn't say you could have them."
Yeah.
So,
There's some
yeah.
gritty stuff in here. There's a mistreatment of
right.
young
Things-
girls, which is, that's
well,
upsetting.
things
but
in the
it's-
Black Widow to enjoy. Family time. What happens to superheroes in prison? How to break out your chubby dad.
cool ways to die.
Lots of ways to die.
When you assemble a family of Russian spies, what
Lots
is that
of-
family
yeah.
dynamic like?
No
What-
matter what they talk about, fathers do not want to hear their daughters talk about their menstrual process.
No.
Thanks for that.
There you go. And Joe is now
That's the whole
completely
movie.
I was at the
uncomfortable.
moment.
There we
Joe.
go. And Joe's away from the table.
Well, Jesse, we didn't really spoil much. I want you to
No,
go
not
see
too
it,
bad.
and we want you to come back and tell us what you thought. So
I can do that.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to be having Jesse, spoiler, Jesse's probably going to be dropping in on Geek Tank quite a bit because you, especially,
we know how to bribe her.
yeah. But Jesse, we only got about a minute. But any cosplay ideas that have come out of any of these new series? What can we look for in your family?
Oh, well, there's definitely going to be a lot of Lokis.
Okay.
Different
you got
ones.
a lot of variety now.
I got a lot of choices.
Okay. You gonna dress your dog up like a Loki alligator?
I may have already ordered that outfit.
Okay. Yeah, keep an eye out for that, people, because we'll post that stuff too, and you'll probably meet Jesse at the Memphis Comic.
Oh, absolutely.
So Jesse, it was great to have you in, but unfortunately the time clock waits for nobody. So thanks for listening to Geek Tank Radio. We're the Geek Patrol. So until next week, I'm Joe Thorderson.
I'm Allan Gilbreth.
I'm Jessie Mack.
And I am Brandon Olmsted, challenging you not to listen to this music and sing along with it.
You will fail.